What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in for another video. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. You know, we got a bunch of great content already on the channel, but we don't want you to miss out on any future videos. We're dropping 3 videos a week right now, so we don't want you guys to miss out on any of those, so make sure you subscribe. Appreciate all you guys always tuning in, liking and commenting. I see all you guys, and we really appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Today, we are out here doing something a little bit different. You guys have seen me clean the boat before, but I've never really talked about cleaning the live wells. It's something that's very important to keeping your fish alive. You know, typically, I don't use the live wells. We fish on the Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour where we catch, weigh, release immediately on the water. But I got a few tournaments that I'm gonna be putting them in the live well here coming up soon. And honestly, I've neglected my live wells this year. I haven't cleaned them, and they are an absolute mess. So I'm gonna take you through the process using a couple things that you probably already have in your house. Get your live wells beautiful, spotless, crystal clear, and keep those fish alive. You know, having all that junk growing and just being in your live well really can affect the fish's health. So to me, it's all about keeping those fish healthy and alive and well in those live wells. So I'm gonna take you through the process on how to keep them tip-top shape. Okay, I'm almost embarrassed to show you guys these, but look how nasty this is. I mean, like I said, I've really neglected these this year, and just leaving the plug out, constantly water and dirty water coming in and out, it ends up with this. So first thing I'm gonna do is put the plug in because we're about to fill them up with some water. All right, so we got the plugs in there. Now the first step, we're just gonna let some water run in there. And while it's doing that, we're gonna add, this is just some white distilled vinegar. So we're just gonna pour a hefty amount. No real measurements, anything like that. And then we're gonna add just some Dawn dish soap. Just give it a little squirt in there. And let's let that fill up with a little bit of water. You know, I don't want to fill it all the way up, but you know, the main thing is I want these valves, the intakes covered. So I want to fill it up above those intakes, you know, probably about 1/3 of the way full, and really cover all that nastiness. We're going to let that soak for a little bit as that fills up. All right, she's about where we need her. Now let's move over and do the same thing on the other side. Now if you have a boat that only has one live well, you know, you only have to do this once, but the Phoenix, the live wells are separate, so you got to do it separately. All right, so that's all we're going to use as far as cleaning agents. We're using distilled white vinegar and Dawn dish soap. And you know, the reason I choose those over some, you know, a bleach or something is because they're natural products. You know, they're safe for the environment. And even if there's a little bit left in there, it's not going to hurt the fish too much. So you're able to, you know, use these rather than a bleach, a real harsh chemical that if a little bit got left in there, it would definitely hurt those fish. So first step, fill them up, add a little soap, add a little dish detergent, a little Dawn, and a little white vinegar. Okay, now after you let it soak for a little bit, I mean, you can let it soak for as long or as little as you like. You know, typically I like to go for that 10 to 15 minute range, but if, you know, if you're in a hurry, you don't have that much time, you can just get right to scrubbing. It helps you on the scrubbing end of things the longer you let it soak. You know, the more it soaks, the more it kind of breaks down that stuff, and it doesn't take as much scrubbing to get it clean. So that's when you jump in, you just get yourself a little brush, maybe a little sponge, something like that, and just get the scrubbing in there. You know, you're gonna scrub all around. At this point in the process, I like to take these screens off. So these just screw off. So you're able to take those off, and we're gonna clean those separately in here. You see that gunk kind of gets built up on them and in the front and the back of them. So it just, you know, always good to take them off. And then, like I said, you're just going to scrub around in here. Make sure you get everything, especially that bottom. Get the sides, get everything where that gunk has dried and grown. Any bacteria has grown in there. But, you know, like I said, the longer you let it soak, the less you really have to scrub. And it's more just about rinsing it out. Okay, now let's take the brush to these guys. You can see that gunk just comes right off as you scrub it, and that's just going to make a huge difference. You don't have that stuff in your live well messing with those fish, so having everything clean definitely helps. Scrub that around. Scrub him, he looks nice and clean. All right, so now that side's clean. We'll scrub him next, but what I'm gonna do here is now I'm gonna pull the plug on this guy and let this water drain out. It's gonna take a lot of that gunk with it, and then we're gonna start rinsing it out here in a second. So I guess I don't have to rinse my arm. But let's rinse these guys off. That way I can close the lid. Okay. Now let's jump over to the same thing on this side. Let's get those screens off. Brush is already in there. All right, now let's scrub around. Where'd it go? There it is. Let's scrub around in here. Okay, so as this drains, you know, you're going to want to kind of continue to rinse it. Get those corners. You know, a lot of times the brush doesn't reach all the way down into some of these corners, so that's when it's good to have a little rag or a sponge. Really help get down in those tight corners that the brush doesn't quite reach into. Looks like my plug fell back in. But you know, this is where it's going to take a little bit of time to continue to rinse them out, just because it only drains so much at a time. Then you got to rinse it, let it drain, rinse it, let it drain, rinse it. So it takes a few times of rinsing, and you know, you want to make sure you get all the suds off. Obviously, get all the suds out. But as it drains further, it may expose little corners or something that you couldn't see, but you just want to make sure you get in there and scrub all that with the rag or a little sponge, something like that. But let's rinse him out a little bit more. All right, move on to the other side. You can see some of the corners that I missed on this one with the brush. But you just take that rag right to them and they wash right off. So this is where it gets a little tedious, cleaning all the corners and the edges and all the little pieces in there, but this is really important to make it look good. Get all that dirt out of there. All right, let's spray him down. So this is where having two live wells really comes in handy, because you can, you know, fill this one up as you're rinsing, let it drain, come back over here, See, we're just about done here. There's just a little bit more left in these bottom corners that I want to clean out. And then we'll be good for a couple final rinses and put the screens back on. Okay, now we're going to screw back on our little screens here after we've cleaned them. And like I said, the rinsing gets a little tedious just because you'll have a little bit of sediment that wants to just stay down there, but generally speaking, it'll all wash out, and wipe the rest up with the rag. But this side's just about done. Get some of that dirt out of there. Give him another good rinse. And let's check out the damage on this side. Look at that. Beautiful. What a difference. So we'll give her one last final rinse like that, and that's it, guys. So that's how I keep my live wells looking tip-top shape, nice and clean. Super simple, just takes a little bit of TLC, a little bit of time, a little bit of water to rinse it out. Now, I will recommend the next time I put the boat in the water, I'm gonna put the live well pumps on and I'm gonna let them run. I'm gonna run all the different pumps that are in that live well just to make sure nothing's got inside those pumps, you know, as far as the soap or the vinegar. So I want to make sure I flush all that out. So as soon as I put this boat in the water, I'm going to turn all the live wells on constant, let them run for 5-10 minutes, just make sure everything's flushed out, and then run the pump out, pump all that water out, run the recirculators while that's happening. That way, like I said, you just run all them pumps, make sure everything's nice and clean, fresh, pumped out, and then you are ready to go. Tip-top shape, perfectly clean live wells, and it's going to help keep your bass happy, that's for sure. You know, Brittany and I were just talking, if we captured you and put you in a dirty, dark, disgusting house, would you be as happy as a nice, clean, happy, healthy house? No, I don't think. So you want to keep your live wells clean. It's going to keep your bass happy and help you weigh in more fish that are alive and keep them alive and well. So appreciate you guys tuning in for this video. Leave me those likes and comments down below. As always, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys next time.